This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
There are lots of reasons to use CBD oil, from pain and inflammation relief to help with conditions like insomnia or ADHD. It's one of the closest things we've found to a miracle drug. But it's important to know how CBD oil works in order to buy the best quality. Basically, cannabidiol, CBD, binds with various receptors in your body to work its magic. For example, CBD has a strong affinity to fatty acid-binding proteins, FABP, that are responsible for chaperoning lipids to the cell interior. This delays adenosine uptake in the cell, which is responsible for inflammation. You don't need to understand the science to get the takeaway. You're putting something in your body that will affect your cells. Wouldn't you only want the purest, highest quality product if it's basically becoming a part of you? Valeria interviews Dawn Norby. She is the founder of Botanicals. Dawn Norby's son was diagnosed with idiopathic aplastic anemia in 2006. In 2011, he needed a bone marrow transplant. Make-A-Wish came to us and asked if they could grant him a wish before his transplant. He chose to go to Scotland and golf at St. Andrew's Golf Course. Little did we know that this trip would be what got him through his pain of treatments before his transplant. It was then that Dawn decided to pay it forward and become a volunteer for Make-A-Wish. Before she could start volunteering, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Going through the same types of treatments her son went through, she knew her mission was to find a way to help volunteer for others. Well, she was finally able to make that wish come true. Her first wish kiddo was dealing with leukemia and was in much pain from the side effects of chemotherapy. Being able to relate to his pain, his mother asked if I could make something to help his son alleviate his pain. After speaking with his doctors, they recommended whatever I did make be all natural. Off to study for Dawn, she finally decided hemp isolate would be best, as it is all natural and THC-free. She made a salve and took it to him. After using it just once, he was able to play with his brother for the first time in months. It was then that she knew she wanted to help people in pain find an all-natural pain relief that would help them also find relief. A business was started 11 years later, and they still make everything in small batches with all natural ingredients. Meet Dawn at buddingbotanicalsca.com. Here's the interview with Dawn Norby.
In your own words, who is Dawn Norby?
I am a daughter, sister, friend, wife, mama, actually, and an entrepreneur.
Wow. So many facets, right, of being a human. It's amazing. For some reason, I'm not a mother, and I love that experience, the label per se. And also the label friend. I don't know why. Every time somebody says that, it kind of calls my attention. And I kind of reflect on what is to be a friend. And I guess it might sound philosophical, but not really, because that's something that it's very practical. Being a good friend or having good friends is actually a wonderful thing. So how do you describe that? What is to be a good friend?
I think someone that is there for others, especially ones you care for. They look out for the best interest of their friend. They're there in good times as well as bad. And they are always open when that phone rings or the doorbell rings.
Mm. Yes. Yes, a billion times. The support, yeah, always there. And, that kind of makes me think about healers and people like you, entrepreneurs with companies that are there to help others, to heal, to improve their lives somehow, to grow. So that's very much a friend. And I know it's one that we usually don't recognize as a friend. We think that's is somebody that's just running a business. But I see everyone here who is doing this type of work as a friend. So I guess, that I just had to say that. Thank you, Dawn, for being a good friend of all of us, for doing what you do.
You're welcome.
So, with that in mind, what you do is you are the founder of Botanicals, which is a organic CBD company. So it's 100% organic CBD products, and you grow, process, make, and bottle everything. So it's really you make everything in small batches too. So it's very, in a way, it feels like that you care for all the of what you all the process in making these products, and you care that it's 100% natural, and there's nothing really almost like you're giving all to the products, which is beautiful too. That makes me think about a mother and then their children. So talk to me, I guess the follow-up question to that is of who you are is the inspiration for creating this company, Botanicals. What is the backstory?
So back in 2006, our oldest son was diagnosed with idiopathic aplastic anemia. And through trials and tribulations, he ended up having a bone marrow transplant. And before that transplant, we were approached by the nurses at the Children's Hospital and asked if they could refer Trevor to be a recipient at Make-A-Wish. And at the time, my husband and I thought, he's not going to die. We know he's going to be fine. So we said, no, thank you. Go ahead and give it to somebody that has less time. Come to find out that Make-A-Wish is for anybody that is 18 and under that is going through a life-threatening illness. It's not necessarily a death sentence, basically. Right. So we agreed, and our son said, I want to go play golf at Augusta over in Atlanta. And Augusta said, no, we don't do favors like that, and we don't want children at our golf course. So he was bummed, and so they came back and said, well, what's your next wish? And Trevor goes, I don't know. How about if we go to Scotland and we play where golf was started at St. Andrews? And my husband and I just cracked up and go, okay, you're going to wish big. Thinking, well, we're going to have to think of another wish. And little unbeknownst to us, 10 days later, 4 of us were on a plane to Scotland. And they treated him like royalty over there. He got to play 5 different golf courses. That we got to tour the cashmere factory. We got to go to all of these different castles, and it was just a phenomenal experience. And then we get home from our trip, and Trevor's going through the treatment, getting ready for the transplant, and he's going through some really hard chemotherapy because they have to shut down his entire immune system to be able to accept this bone marrow transplant. And he did not want any pharmaceutical medications. He goes, Mom, I just can't handle the pain. I can't handle the pain. What can I do? So I got on the phone and I called my husband and said, let's just switch spots. You come to the hospital and talk to Trevor, and I'll come home and spend the night with Drew, our younger son. And we switched places. He came in and they sat and they talked about every single golf shot that they did in Scotland. And it was able to get his mind focused on anything but the pain. And the next day when I showed up, he looked great, felt good, little sore, but He goes, Mom, I feel really good. Thank you for having Dad come and talk. And it was at that point, reflecting on that, going, I want every child that's going through something like my son is going through to have something as special to him or to them as my son and our family had. And I knew I wanted to pay it forward and volunteer for Make-A-Wish. So my son went through the transplant and ended up about 8 months later, they gave him the all clear and he was good to go and came through with flying colors. And I was getting ready to volunteer for Make-A-Wish when I discovered a lump on my breast and realized I had breast cancer. That put my Make-A-Wish dreams on the back burner for a while. And I went through all of my treatment and experienced everything my son experienced, which is not a pleasant thing to be able to associate that type of pain with your child. Right. And I ended up getting cured, and I've been in remission now for 13 years, and I was able to volunteer for Make-A-Wish. Did all the training, and they said, okay, would you like to be a wish granter? I go, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I went through that training. My first wish kiddo was battling leukemia and just really struggling, and went and met with Mom and the child. And we discussed things, and she goes, I just can't understand the pain he's going through. And I go, well, I can. Been there. It's still fresh in my brain. So we talked a little bit about that. And she said, can you help me try to find something natural with CBD to help alleviate his pain? Because I don't want him on these painkillers. He was only 6 at the time. Right. And of course, me being the person I am, I said, sure, of course, no problem. I had no idea what CBD was. I was just flying by the edge of my seat. And so I went home and did research. At the time, we were living in California, so we had friends that owned dispensaries and we could talk with them. And he had recommended I use a hemp CBD, so there's no THC, the psychoactive property, in the product that I was going to develop. So we did a CBD hemp isolate, and I put it into a salve and took it over to their house and said, try rubbing this where it hurts on his joints and we'll see if it works. And she went upstairs and they put it on, and he came running down the stairs and ran right outside and played with his brother. And Mom came downstairs just crying. She goes, I haven't seen him like this since before he got leukemia. Whatever it is, I want a vat of this stuff. And it helped him move and be able to play with his big brother, which he hadn't been able to do for years. Right. And it was then I kind of knew, I think I got something here. I want to make sure every kid going through this has the relief that's all natural and organic, which is what the doctors said I could do. That if I was to make something, it had to be all natural and organic. Right. So it would not interfere with any medications that they would use during any types of treatments. So that's what we did. That's how a business became started.
Wow, that's amazing. Although I have read this story, but listening to you, it's so much more powerful because I just visualized and tried to imagine a mother, as a mother going through that and then being diagnosed with cancer. So, yeah, thank you so much for saying yes to life in the way that you have, in such a beautiful way. Thank you. So how do you make sense of suffering, Dawn? Is that part of life simply, or is there a purpose, meaning behind suffering?
I guess we could all go through the saying of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Right. My grandmother had a saying that whenever she was going through something, she goes, hey, I just got another hitch in my get along. And that's yes. kind of been our mantra here in our family is Trevor goes, I just got a hitch in my get along, Mom. We're going to make it through this. Yeah. And when he was diagnosed, he looked at me with these big eyes and he goes, Mom, am I going to die? And that's never anything a mother wants to hear her child ask, ever. Yes. And I looked at him dead in the eyes and I go, honey, yes, you are. But this is not what's going to kill you. And he had that light bulb moment. And he goes, okay, what do we need to do to get healthy then? And I basically had the same feeling when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It's like, okay, well, this is my journey that I'm going through now. How am I going to handle it? Am I going to handle it positive, or am I going to be a negative Nilly and say, why me? I'd rather look at it and say, okay, it's me. Let's get through this. Let's become a better, stronger person through this. And that's how I looked at it. And I think mindset is more than half of healing. That if you've got a mindset that you are going to just be horrible and this is going to take your life and you're going to be miserable forever, I think your chances of survival are a lot less. I think the mental, to be able to go through something like this, have that mental positivity behind you really helps.
Yes. Is that what CBD also helps with, Dawn, to alleviate the pain enough so we can have more mental clarity?
Well, CBD can help you with depression, so that's great. Right. It can help with any inflammation you've got in your system. It helps with anxiety. It can help children as well as adults with ADD or ADHD. Right. It's got so many different powers in it that are all natural and non-addictive that I'm still blown away every time I read new articles of what they've decided CBD can also do. And that just makes my heart feel so good, knowing that this is just a plant and you're not putting anything in your system that's bad. Our bodies do produce CBD on their own, but we do not produce enough to have a medicinal effect. So we're only adding to our body what our body already makes. We just don't make enough of it.
Right. That's really important to know that it's something that our body already makes. So it's 100% natural. It just helps, right, the production of CBD in the body so we can heal faster. What's not to love about it? I think I tried before. I don't remember. I never had any chronic pain or anything like that. But I think I tried just to see how I felt. But because I didn't have any painful, let's say, reference that was not suffering from anything, I couldn't really see the benefits for that reason.
Correct. But it's also very good to help you recover from hard workouts. So if you go and you do like leg day and you wake up the next morning, your legs are killing you. You can put the salve on your legs and it helps relieve and alleviate some of that pain.
That's good to know. Salve. What is salve? I did see the word on your website, but I didn't really look for the... What is that?
It's like a thick lotion that you really get to rub in your skin. It's similar to Vaseline type, but without the greasiness consistency. Right. And a lot of massage therapists use it, and it's great for getting in and relaxing the tissue. So if you were to go have a massage with regular lotion, you'd feel good. But if you went in and had a massage and asked them to give you a CBD massage, you're going to feel better for 5 or 6 days after, because it's going to get deep into those tissues and help alleviate any soreness, any inflammation, aches and pains that your body may have.
Gosh, I love to know that. Yes, my husband will love that news too. He actually had something called athletic CBD that he was rubbing when he had soreness in his body from working out. And I remember that sometimes using that too, but not as often. So that's good for also athletes and people who work out often. So that's really wonderful to know, for the both of us. And another question I had for you is about, so you said each person on your website, each person is different and should be listened to so they can be helped accordingly. So that means that even if we order, if everyone wants to get it and try it now, it's important to know how much to use, right, Dawn? Is that what it is? What's your suggestion for usage?
So everybody is going to respond to CBD differently. I mean, if you take 200 milligrams of Advil and I take 200 milligrams of Advil, it might help you. It won't touch me. So we have a questionnaire on our website that we like people to fill out so we can kind of get to know what their pain threshold is, what they're dealing with, what they're thinking they would like to try CBD for. Right. And when you take it orally, it is recommended you take it every day so it can build up in your system and it is there. So basically people that have anxiety, people that are prone to get migraines, people that have arthritis or continual joint pain and inflammation, it's best to take it orally and it will help reduce the symptoms significantly. If you use it topically, you just use it whenever you need it. I was having really bad neuropathy from side effects of the chemo and radiation. And I decided I'm going to try it. And I put it on my feet and I used it every day. And now my neuropathy is gone. And my son came to me and he goes, Mom, how come your feet don't hurt anymore? My feet still hurt. Well, what do you mean? Because they're cold and they hurt when I walk on them. And I go, well, for me, it was a side effect of chemo. Well, how'd you get rid of it? And I said, well, it's the salve I've been putting on my feet. And I know guys don't like lotion and salves, but he goes, I'll try it. And now it got rid of his. So it's amazing what this little plant can do. So many different things for us and help us. My youngest son had really bad anxiety when COVID hit because he's very social. And for him not to be able to be around all of his friends, his anxiety kicked up. And so we gave him some of the CBD tincture for him to take orally. And now he is great. He just takes it every day. And I was able to get off my depression meds by taking CBD, so I don't have to take my depression meds anymore. Wow. So it works differently for every person. You just have to basically know what it is you want. It's not going to help everybody. There is a certain chemical in your blood chemistry that does not allow CBD to effectively work on you, but that is only 2% of the population worldwide that has that certain chemistry in their blood. Yeah. So I've had 2 people that it doesn't work on. My sister-in-law, best friend, is also considered one of them. Yeah. But it's an amazing little plant.
Yes, gosh, I believe you. I absolutely believe you. And I can't wait to try, though, your products specifically, because it's also, I think, because a lot of people are doing that these days. We see that everywhere, CBD everywhere, on Amazon and all over the internet. So we want to trust the source. And that's, to me, that's very, very important, where it's coming from. And that I know, even my food, I do the same. Where's the farm that my meat's coming from, or the produce? I really want to know everything. So this is really wonderful. And I'll definitely try myself and my husband. And I have a dog. So is that also good for animals? We wanted to travel with him. He's a service dog. Would that
yes,
be
it is. It's great for animals. We have customers that have guinea pigs, rabbits, dogs, cats, even a girlfriend that has horses. And it helps immensely with anxiety, separation anxiety. If they get a little excited when company comes over, if they have arthritis and they're just downright getting older or they're skittish. It's great for all of those things. And it's best when it's used half an hour to an hour before you know they might have some anxiety. So usually big deals for animals and our products for them are New Year's Eve and 4th of July, when they know all the fireworks are going to go off and the animals are just scared to death of all those sounds. Right. That they'll give them some CBD and they will pretty much be mellow and relax through the whole thing.
Gosh, I love that information. And I saw on your website you have 2 products there for pets, the CBD pet treats and the 100% organic CBD pet tinctures. So do we choose one over the other, or we actually get both and try both of them?
You could try one or the other, just depending on if you know your dog or animal, whatever pet it has, either likes freeze-dried organic beef, or if you think it would do better having a bacon-flavored tincture. And you can either put it on their food, put it in your hand, or put it in their water.
On the water too, yes. So I'll probably try both and see which ones. My dog is so picky. Gosh, he smells everything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He knows there's something there. So I'll try that. And then I also see that you offer, I went on your website. I mean, this is really inviting. It is the try, it's like a bundle that you try all of your products, like the sample
Yes, we do
size, I
have
believe.
that.
Oh, I love that idea.
No, it's not sample size. We give you the full size of them.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for saying that too. So it's not sample size; it's actually the original size for all of them.
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
wow, this is amazing! I see so many of them. Even the mosquito repellent. That's something that's good too. When we go to in parks, I see that my husband is always very annoyed by the mosquitoes. I don't mind, but he does. So that'll be good for him.
Yeah, and
Gosh
it is
darn.
DEET free, so it's all natural. And then this year, my brother was dealing with some skin cancer as he was a golfer, and he had to use sunblock all the time, and he hated it because he didn't like knowing all these chemicals were getting into him. And he just called me and goes, "Hey sis, can you please help me out here? I need sunblock, but I want something natural."
Yeah.
So back to the table I went and researched and sent him a sample, and he tried it and he goes, "Oh my gosh, this stuff is great." So, and it's even safe and okay to use when you are scuba diving and stuff like that at the Great Barrier Reef. It will not harm any natural areas of the ocean or any aquatic.
That's also good to know. You see, I love that about what you're doing. This, this way of living, of being, of thinking, that you are helping yourself, your family, and then the community, and then the city, and then humanity, and then the earth as a whole. So it's all about this, win, 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 win forever kind of idea. So it's never really about doing something that's good for humans and not good for animals. So that's how I know, and my community knows that we are coming from. I have to say, coming from the soul, there's a spiritual component to it. Is that something that you have reflected about, or you talk about spirituality at all when it comes to doing what you do?
It is. It's very close to us. The closer you can become to Mother Earth, I think the better off we all are. Everybody believes in something different. I believe natural is best. My creator, in my own humble opinion, has the final say. But the life I want to live here on Earth is something I want to make sure that I leave better for my children and their children and so forth than what I found it.
Yes. And you see, that's really what is, to me, spirituality. It's the evolution of human consciousness, or the way we think and live, that it's what we do, it's good for everyone. It's not just good for us, but everyone else. That to me, it's being spiritual. And regardless of religion, of other ideas, philosophies, and all that, it comes down to something that's very practical, actually, and beautiful. Living in community and kind of acknowledging that everything is interconnected, that we are part of it all. We are not disconnected. So that's beautiful to know too, Dawn. I'm highly, for some reason, that's my calling. It's healing spirituality. And it's really from the lens of spirituality that everything else kind of flourishes in my life. So I thank you for saying that. I already kind of knew in a way. So I also noticed that you have CBD hand sanitizers and also infused waters. And that's not part of it doesn't come with the trying. Does it come with that package, the bundle of trying all of your products? That's not included, right?
No, those don't. Yeah, just because they're so hard to ship because of them being liquid.
Right. So that's good to know. So I was kind of looking at everything, and gosh, it's such a beautiful invitation. And I never felt kind of as invited because I usually, all my practices, basically I try not to rely on external things in order to heal. So I do a lot of meditation, reflection. It's more like this inner world kind of harmony that I create. So my body, it maintain its health in balance. So I'm not kind of reaching out there. But your work, what do you do? It's really inviting though. And that sounds amazing too. The infused waters and the hand sanitizer. We're actually ready to get some. And this will be a better option. So what else? Gosh. And you also, oh, don't I have to say that? You also offer wholesale CBD, don't you?
Yes, we do. We do. We offer quite a few companies actually white label our products. If you're not familiar with that, I'd like to associate it with Costco, where Kirkland brand is white label. It might be where their product is actually a Johnson & Johnson product, but they put the Kirkland name on it, kind of thing. So somebody will sell my product that I make, but they will put their label on it. Right. And represent them, but they know that where it's coming from. And the main thing I'd like people to know about CBD is know where it came from, know where it started, how it was processed. Because if it's processed with chemicals, you're going to get a product that is not going to be very beneficial, but it will cost a lot. And it's much better to do your research and know that if it was grown organically, processed with water and not drugs or chemicals, and it was made all naturally with organic products, you're going to get a better benefit from the CBD. So I don't care where you buy it from, just do your research and make sure that it is all natural and organic, or you're not going to get the benefits of the CBD and it'll leave a sour taste on you about CBD.
Yes. So that's also information that we need to have. And also we need to follow through too. It's not just having the information, but getting to do it, going by price too, because a lot of times that happens, right? We know things, we know we're not supposed to be buying products without researching them, but then there's a sale or a promotion somewhere, like some sort of cheaper prices, and then some people will go for it. And that's something that I don't do. I don't go for that ever. It's always about quality.
What is amazing, right? And the quality of the CBD, it's actually less expensive to produce it organically and process it with water than it is with chemicals. So I pass those savings on to my customers, and my prices are actually a lot cheaper than most. And they're actually cheaper than the chemically processed CBD out there.
Right. That's wonderful to know. Isn't it interesting? So it's actually cheaper to do it that way, organically, than to use pesticides and all those chemicals that other people use. And I wonder why that is then. Why do they use pesticides really, Dawn? Is that for the overgrowth? I don't know. Yeah.
It could be that the miracle about hemp is if you plant it, it actually restores your soil. It takes all of the bad stuff out of your soil, the fertilizers that have been there, any chemicals that have been used in the past. It cleanses the soil. So if you're a farmer and you're having a hard time growing your crops, plant some hemp, let your soil get cleansed and refreshed. And then next year, grow your plants again. And you're going to see how much better your plants grow because the hemp will clean your soil.
That's amazing. That's something wonderful to know for farmers. I have a lot of people in my community that they have farms, so that'll be good for them to know as well. How wonderful. Are your products available on, besides your website, botanicalsca.com, which the link will be here, clickable, so it's easier. Only on your website, or also on Amazon and other stores, Dawn?
They right now are, pardon me, only on Facebook, my website, and Etsy, because Amazon, I have to have completely different labeling. They won't let the letters CBD be on any labels. They want the hemp. So we have not pursued Amazon yet. And a lot of places will not accept it because they still feel it is a drug. And to me, that's just them not being educated and knowing that it's not a drug. It is actually something that will help you get off of drugs or pharmaceutical medications. And we all know that pharmaceutical companies want to make their money.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, you see, it's education. We need to be more curious, right? Ask more questions. And
yes,
that's what's missing. That's the missing piece in almost every society, perhaps with some exceptions. Something that you touched upon before, and I wanted to just bring it back into the conversation, is the difference between CBD and THC, which has the psychoactive compound. So how do we know the difference for people out there?
Legally, it must be labeled with THC or CBD. We right now are only using CBD isolate. So there is almost a 100% zero chance of any THC being in our products. So they're safe for everybody. If you use a CBD full spectrum or broad spectrum product, it could have up to 0.3% THC in there, which could get you to have a false positive on a drug or urine test. And if you're in a profession where you have to do drug screening, you may get a false positive and be fired from your job if you happen to be using a full or broad spectrum product. So that's why we stick with the isolate, because we were in Southern California. We were right by the military base and had a lot of people that needed relief from stress and anxiety and pain from all of their workouts, that we made sure our products would be safe for them. So that's why we've chosen to stick with the isolate.
Right. It's also very clear. Thank you for the information. Yes, there's nothing that's psychoactive there. And it's not because it's being psychoactive, it's a bad thing, right? Because we also know that there's a lot of benefits to psychedelics for medicine, especially for depression, anxiety, PTSD. But for this specific reason, you don't do it because you want to, if they have tests, to be clean. That makes so much sense. I mean, what's not to love about you and your work and the message and everything behind it? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're almost at the end. I want to ask you an ending question. But before that, I want to mention your website again. So Botanicals.ca.com. That will be on the podcast notes. And is there anything that you left unsaid, Dawn, for this conversation? Any questions that I didn't ask?
Not that I can think of. I just really like to reiterate, do your homework. I don't care if you buy from me or not. Just do your homework and make sure what you're getting is a quality product that you are comfortable putting in your system or using on your body.
Yes. Thank you again. For that incredibly helpful piece of advice, suggestion, really. It's a golden one, from my opinion. So thank you again for your beautiful presence in this world, for doing what you do, for following your heart and everything else in between. Thank you. And
Thank you.
before we say goodbye, I do have this ending question here that
Sure.
I've been asking to so many people this question, but then I dropped the question for a long time. So I'm going back to it today. What 3 experiences you wish everyone to have before they die, before they lose their body?
Pure, unfiltered happiness.
Mm.
I think laughing with family and friends is very much needed. It's very cleansing. To be able to get a bear hug from somebody that's actually putting their whole soul into it is another good thing. And I think to just live your life honestly with yourself as to the full extent that you can, and love life, because you don't get a redo.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing timeless wisdom. I love the bear hug. I was just like laughing. Just trying to imagine that here. Gosh, that feels good. You're right. It's been a long time since I had one. Oh my God, Dawn. Thank you. I actually felt a hug from you, I have to say. It's interesting, right? It doesn't have to be physical sometimes.
No, it gets your heart, gets you going, puts a smile on your face. That can change your attitude for the entire day.
Yeah, that's love, right? Thank you so much again for being you. And thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch
Appreciate
again.
you having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Dawn Norby and her work, please visit buddingbotanicalsca.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.